Hey everybody, it's Mr. Hohen. I hope everyone's doing well. So this video is going to help you better understand how to write better short answers on not only the quiz that you took, but future tests with me and hopefully any other short answer tests that you'll do in high school or college. First of all, a couple of tips on how to become a better writer for short essay responses. The first one, always write more than less. You always want to demonstrate to the teacher that you have a complete understanding of the question that is asked. And sometimes that's writing more than just the simple notes or lecture or article content that has been given to you. Number two, write in complete and clear sentences. I cannot believe that some of you wrote such poor sentences without proper capitalization and grammar, poor grammar. Make sure to read your writing out loud in your head. If it doesn't make sense to you, it's not going to make sense to anybody that reads your writing. Answer all of the questions that are asked. Many of you skipped some questions that were embedded in a single numbered answer. So make sure that you are answering the question completely. All right, and if there are multiple questions within a numbered question, then you got to answer each one. And then lastly, just don't regurgitate notes and article content. You want to be able to demonstrate a complete understanding of the questions that asked, and sometimes that means writing longer sentences and expanding and connecting ideas. All right, let's get to the first question. What was the Cold War? When did it take place? And in your opinion, and based on what you've learned, who won the Cold War? Justify your response with as much evidence as possible. So what I did here is put some content that came directly from the notes that you took, that really, if you used this page of notes and simply put these notes into complete sentences, I would be good with that. All right. So the Cold War was an era of confrontation and competition between the United States and the Soviet Union that lasted 46 years, from 1945 to 1991. Many of you forgot to tell me how long the Cold War lasted. Fundamentally, and I've said this repeatedly, we spent days on this, it was an ideological conflict between capitalism and communism. And if you didn't include even that information, that was a serious mistake. The other information that's here on this slide is good. It would have been awesome to see stuff like that, but I wouldn't have necessarily knocked points off if you kept it off. And then lastly, who won the Cold War? And I lifted a quote directly from the article, which said that most historians consider the United States the winner of the Cold War, since it was the only superpower left standing by 1991. All right, that's question. That was the first short answer question. The next short answer question was, why was NSC 68 a turning point in the Cold War and U.S. history? Many of you only gave me what the article content basically had on this. And I talked about this, and what I ended up doing was quoting the article itself right here, as well as adding some information that I remember providing you in lecture form. So the content that came from the article is, the United States transformed itself into a permanent military state following the council of a multi-agency report entitled NSC 68, dramatically expanding U.S. military readiness and increasing the United States nuclear arsenal of military aid to U.S. allies. All right, so the most important thing about NSC 68 is that the United States became a permanent military superpower. And they ended up not only spending hundreds of millions of dollars every single year on its military and defense-related industries, but they would use that military to support allies and defend U.S. interests around the world. Basically, we built up our muscle and we were prepared to use that military muscle from NSC 68 onward. All right, that's really important. All right, the next question, which I was really disappointed, given how much time we spent on this, that many of you did not expand on a strong answer for this one, and that is, what makes capitalism and communism so ideologically opposed to each other? I gave you this slide and lectured on it quite a bit, and I was hoping that you would have taken a majority of the information from this slide and put it into sentence form. All right, I mean, look at, when I say ideologically opposed to each other, I literally have one column of listed items, and then on the other column, sort of how that sort of contradicts the other item on the other side. So once again, go back to your notes on this particular slide and put it into sentence form. And then lastly, how did the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan come back to bite the United States after the Cold War? I literally quoted the content that came from the Cold War article. And I talked about this also in lecture form too, is that I'm going to quote this from the article. It also gave rise to the emergence of Islamic guerrilla fighters known as the Mujahideen, who later evolved into Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. The United States helped arm and train the Mujahideen, including Osama bin Laden, which greatly aided the defeat of the Soviet military presence, but also introduced the world to Islamic extremism and terrorism, which still exists today, and of course was most importantly manifested in the 9/11 attack in 2001. So taking that information and putting that into clear, complete sentences would have sufficed for me. All right, so now you have a better idea as to what I was expecting, not just for this particular quiz's short answers, but future short answer quizzes. Answer your questions completely. Write more than less. All right. Good luck on the retake, and I will see you all soon.